grand rising and bright blessings to all of my pedal patrons. Welcome to Moon Day. It is the 9th, which means today is technically a 4 universal numerological energy value day. This is going to be a very interesting week. We have multiple trines that have taken place today. I'll show you that on the map here in just a second, which is what we need as the moon is coming out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius. Now, it doesn't even land officially in station direct until 11:37 a.m. So the energy for a lot of people is kind of like, meh. But later on this afternoon, it's going to be really cranked up for a lot of people for lots of positive reasons. Mercury and Jupiter trine, Venus trine, Saturn trine, Neptune trine. We will have a sextile with the moon and Pluto. And then before we go to bed, there is going to be a square with the Mars energy and that moon Sagittarius. So you're going to want to watch your energy before you go to bed. Try to do everything you can to rest and relax, because we are all going to be pumped up for the Jupiter going direct tomorrow in the sign of Cancer. There are 2 more trines that show up tomorrow. That's Mama Venus and Pluto in harmony, allowing the shifts to take place with as much ease and grace as possible. Wednesday, we have a really weird sort of a scenario. That's going to be a 6 universal energy day where the sun and the moon are basically square all day long. And then in the evening time, and it's really like void moon energy. It's really funky. When Thursday, when the official moon changes into the sign of Capricorn and things can start to land and lock in a little bit more, will be very interesting. But all those trines we have today on Monday all turn into squares when we get to Thursday. It doesn't last too long. When we get to Friday the 13th, we will be in an 8 numerological energy value. It's a power frequency day, and it's the same day that we are experiencing the Mars conjunction North Node in Pisces. That is the change of the GPS, or the permission that little people are going to start to come out a little bit more. So let's go ahead and jump into the first map here, and let's keep it pushing. So these are all of the gorgeous points I told you about. All of these harmonies in place here today will all turn into squares on Thursday. But let's gather the energy that we have today and the frequencies that we experienced earlier on this morning. And that was where the moon in Scorpio, the same time it went void, created this opposition with the Uranus and Taurus. Almost like the universe is telling us the same thing. Oh, we're going to shift something for you that's going to land in your day-to-day physical, tangible, touchable world. Let's start this process today. But I do want to jump and give you the map for Friday, because this is sort of where all this is landing. There's Friday. So there are squares, but there are more sextiles that are coming in that are going to be beneficial. But the big meat of the day here, outside of that Mars North Node, is this opposition that's taking place between Capricorn and Jupiter. So the thing about it is the expansion of the emotional frequency that we're in, the achievements that we want to be able to see, and then the North Node going, yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. So let's start doing this. It doesn't all have to be done in 5 minutes, you guys. Give yourself these breaks throughout the week to just sort of check in with yourself. It's going to be very interesting energetically. What is the goal for each of the signs this week? Okay, roughly, Aries is 12th house. So here's the deal. You guys are going to have to get through a point where you are breaking through any self-imposed limitation. That's basically what it boils down to. You will have some spiritual upgrades that are going to take place. It does involve you being honest with yourself about what you can handle now versus where it is that you can allow some things to continue to adjust. Your friends are going to be very important to you this upcoming week. Excuse me as I choke myself with this, with my necklaces. You have to be surrounding yourself with people that are supporting you. There's a few of you guys are going to have that same conversation come up to help you align with your future self, your future goals. But if you are feeling like you're limited, that this is the week where things start to break free for you. Now, my Taurus friends, you very specifically have something that needs to be said. 12th house into the 10th house that leads to the 11th house, meaning Something that you're doing or something that's coming from the 12th house needs to be connected to your workplace, which, if you say what you needs to say, is going to be able to allow the entire group to sort of reformat. Don't be afraid of sticking up for yourself, because what you say carries weight. Geminis, yours is going to be pretty interesting this week, because yours is very much going to be in the 10th house towards the end of the week. So what you got to do now is you got to just sort of marinate a little bit, find out who the people are that you believe you can trust that can get you to that level within that 9th house of the expansion. Be sure that you're working with people that are going to assist you on your goals. Cancerians, you guys have been going through it. This is going to end up being an expansive opportunity. Some of you guys are going to understand the energy that's been crazy in your 2nd house of resources, and also the 8th house of other people's resources or shared income or intimacy. This is the universe's week of giving you that, okay, I may get you from here all the way to here, but what I need you to do is agree that it's okay to do this first before you jump off into that thing. We're not taking anything away from you. We want you to expand and see things from a different perspective, just a little bit more. That means that our Leos are going to land in the 8th house of power position when it comes to claiming what is going on in your finances and also your shared intimacy 8th house. But what that involves is knowing where you want to go in your 9th house, okay? And then allowing your 7th house relationships also to work with you. So everyone getting on the same sheet of music so that we can all travel together. But this is you claiming your power back in some sort of a capacity. Watch Wednesday. It could be a little challenging for you. That means that our Virgos are going to be highlighted and most activated eventually in that 7th house of relationships. But what it means is managing the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the push, the pulls. In other words, you are going to have to identify some shifts and changes in your day-to-day routine. We've been talking about that for a hot minute, that are going to allow you, what's the best way to say this, to make sure that you are holding yourself integral in your daily habits. There's some things that have to go, but you still have to land in those basic things so that you have energy to deal with other people at the end of the day. That's going to help your growth factor a lot more than you think. Libras, yours is going to be landing in the 6th house of day-to-day routine. But what that means for you specifically is dealing with the way you are handling your joy, your family, your domestic responsibilities, and your personal relationships, whether you're married or not, so that you're getting those things done so that at the end of the day, you have enough energy to distribute where it really needs to sort of go. That's easy. That's the easiest way I know how to say it. You will be tapped on the shoulder to help a lot of people, because that's what you're supposed to be doing in a lot of ways. Scorpio, yours is sort of the opposite of Libra, but it's very interesting. You have to get to the point where you are honoring your joy, straight up, all the wishes, hopes, and dreams that you want. Get your day-to-day routines done. I'd say do all the hard business first, stabilizing what has to happen in your home space first, blah, blah, yada, yada, so that at the end of the day, you can just immerse yourself in all of the sexy that you want to be able to experience for yourself. Sagittarius, this is going to be 4th house. That's exactly where you're going, the stability of your home, your environment. But it is going to involve you having some interesting conversations this week with people. Could be family members, extended family members. It will be adjusting the way that you are honoring who are the people in your family possibly that are supporting you, and making sure that you are letting them kindly out the door as you are establishing your connectivity for your own foundation. And family connections, hard conversations this week, but it doesn't have to kill you. It just needs to be honest conversation. Capricorn, you guys are going to earn some spiritual growth this week, and that's going to be in your intuition. You're going to be able to see things that are going on behind the scenes. You're just going to be able to see it, because your 2nd house of the way that you're doing things and your 4th house are going to be locked in. Your family are so locked in that you're going to be able to start to feel a little bit more comfortable receiving these other nudges and things that are popping up. So just be looking at that, looking for the opportunities to see between the lines. 2nd house activity falls to our Aquarius. This is where you guys need to be by the end of the week. Something in your current 2nd house needs to shift. Your identity has to shift a little bit. You have to command what it is that is taking place for you to get what you want. And then our Pisces, You have to be aligned